Hey everyone, welcome back to AK Blade. Cee
Just Jul. And for this month's ninth creator of the month's content, we're excited to have Spencer Marquardt. Did I do that?
Very
I think I did
good.
it. Yes, co-owner and co-designer of Finch Knives, here with us today. Spencer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the time.
All right.
All right, so we'll jump right into it. Finch has such a unique story.
It does.
You mentioned that your knife company honors like a family tradition of knife collecting that spans 4 generations. Tell us a little bit about the legacy and how you got started with Finch Knives, like your childhood friend.
Yeah, so it's definitely 4 generations. I remember back when I was a kid, my great grandfather, he retired in Florida, and he started. We went to visit. I was a tiny little kid, and probably about second, third grade. And I remember walking around his backyard. He was looking for a stick that he wanted to whittle into a whistle for me. And so he pulled out his old classic little slip joint pocket knife. We found this little stick, and about 4 hours later, I had this little whistle he carved out of wood, and I was just kind of fascinated by the tool he pulled out of his pocket. And then my grandfather collected pocket knives. My dad took me to all the gun and knife shows all over Kansas City, and he just loved He was a big traditional slip joint guy, and he loved case. He loves. I don't know if they're still around anymore, but Fighting Rooster, Hen and Rooster, Bulldogs.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they're still around.
Hen and Rooster's still kicking.
Okay, and so we would walk up to these knife sellers, dealers, and he would just ask, "Do you have Hen and Rooster, Fighting Rooster, Bulldogs?" And if it was a yes, he's like, "Show me what you got." If it was a no, we quickly moved on to the next one. And then once he kind of got what he wanted, he's like, "Spence, what did you see anything you liked?" And I was like, "Well, there's this one over here I liked." And so we went back over to a dealer or a booth, and he said, "Pick a couple out." And that's kind of how my collection started. Then I got my son. My son just jumped on board. We bought him a little, it's not even a real brand, just a little cheapy automatic knife on a vacation once in a souvenir store. And it was a road trip for us. And the whole way home in the back of the car, he was probably 6, 7, 8. And he was just, the whole way home, it was a 12-hour car ride. I heard it snap. I heard him lock it. I heard him snap it. And he fidgeted with that thing the whole way home. And from there on, he was hooked and all in on collecting pocket knives.
So you're the storytelling guy, right?
Yes, I am.
All right, so how do you come up with these ideas?
Oh man, so they just hit me. My son's got a lot of friends that are in their high school class. They take an entrepreneur class, and I'm always on the top of their list for an interview. And they're like, "How do you do it? How do you do it?" And it all really just started with a draw from childhood and memories, and like the cherry bomb. It's like, we live in a we used to live in a very rural area. It's getting grown up, but we lived out in the middle of nowhere. Now we're surrounded by neighborhoods and shopping malls. But cherry bomb, when we were growing up, there was a fireworks tent, that was way out south, even further out than where we lived. And we would go out there every 4th of July and load up on any firework we would ever want. And so that childhood memory was what inspired that cherry bomb knife. The holiday was inspired by my dad.
Yeah. Do you find that your customers really connect with these stories? Like they play a big role?
Yes, they do. When we did the holidays, probably the best example of that is we would have guys call us, email us, and say, "Hey, look, I'm not a knife guy, but I saw you on Instagram. I've heard this story. I love the movies. I love Westerns. And so they would say, I bought this knife because I'm a Wild West guru, historian, fan, whatever you want to call them." And they're like, "I don't carry knives, but I had to have your holiday to keep on my desk," or whatever they're going to do with it. So that's been the big one. The Runtley was also pretty big in terms of, hey, we got a lot of it's not a fishing knife by any means. You're not going to clean a fish with it. It's good for cutting line and maybe
not scaling nothing with that.
Just the story that it was something for my son and I to do together, and that lure part. So yeah, the storytelling's a lot of fun.
How do you keep them like, okay, functional and affordable?
Yeah. And a high level of craftsmanship. I mean, like I
Yeah,
love the
well,
model 1929. This one's mine. Like I snagged it
yes.
before we sold out. But like I love the abalone and I love the design of the blade. It's such a high quality but so affordable. Like how?
Yeah,
How?
so that 1929, that's a great story there too. Is that same story I was telling you about my son getting that little cheap automatic pocket
Now I
knife.
want
We
to flip
were
it
out
over
in
and
Jackson
over.
Hole, Wyoming, and cruising through Teton National Park and Yellowstone National Park, and we just fell in love with, like, I mean, Yellowstone's wonderful and obviously world famous, but my whole family just connected with Grand Teton National Park. And so the 1929 obviously is named after the year Grand Teton National Park was founded. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what better than more of a Barlow style knife?
Yep.
Exactly.
And we're like, how do we, I love like that, the Staghorn 1929 we're finally able to do.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And it is without a doubt my most favorite knife. I don't know what's to come in the future with things, but as it stands right now, I don't know if anything's ever going to be able to beat it for me personally. That 1929 in
Stag.
Staghorn, the abalone, I just think it's a beautiful material. Maybe not the most durable, but man, they're gorgeous.
Ah,
So we're just
only
trying to
dropped it
figure out a way.
once.
Okay, let's kind of take the modern flipper with the ball bearings and the pocket clip, but how do we
So,
bring back some of that old
so since the
school?
1929 is your favorite,
Mm-hmm.
so of your,
Yes.
say your next three designs, what's going to be your favorite out of those?
Um, I would probably go with the cherry bomb. I love because of the story. And I like that size of knife. I'm more of a small knife guy. I don't really get into the bigger stuff myself. So I would go 1929, the cherry bomb, and then just for my dad's sake, I'd probably have to say the holiday, because that one really touches close to home.
Yeah, and I know we recently released the frog leg.
Yes.
And do you have anything from your newer ones that you're super excited about?
Yeah. So yes, the frog leg actually was a little inspiration to my son-in-law, my brother-in-law. He's just a good old boy from Southern Florida, and he's got an airboat, and
He's got an airboat.
he loves to go gigging for frogs. And he's one of those guys, he's not just going to go do it for the sport of it. He also
Bulls
he's
and
eating
eats
them,
it.
he's cleaning them, and he's eating
Can't
them.
beat
And
that. So tell us a little bit about your Wheat State brand.
yeah, so Wheat State, born and raised in Kansas. I think there is so much fascinating history with the state of Kansas. People think of us as a flyover state. Yeah, we are. There's tourism's not huge here, but there's some fascinating stories with the Wild West, the Heartland, the
Yeah.
Great Plains, and I really wanted to go back to, again, this was really kind of inspired by my dad and his love of pioneer days and all that good stuff. So, and the farmers, and then my wife's dad being a farmer, I was like, man, let's play off this. Let's play off this somehow. How can we get this little brand and collection up and running? And so Wheat State came to life. And we've got about 12 designs in the lineup, and every one of them will tell a story. We've got one. So we did the first one called the Peacemaker, and that's obviously Wyatt Earp and his days in Dodge City. We have one called El Dorado. There's a little town here in Kansas called El Dorado that had oil and a little bit of gold. So that's going to be a real fun knife to do. We've got one called KPR, and that stands for the Kansas Pacific Railroad. And that just helped with expansion, past through the Kansas, the Great Plains, into the Wild West. And we've got one called Sundrop that plays off, obviously the sun and our wheat fields and our corn fields. So we're at about, I think 12. I might be wrong on that number, but we'll slowly release those.
And those are all like high-end slip joints, correct? Like they're gonna have what, like M390 or something like that, in steel wise.
Yeah, more. Yeah, I'd like to stick with M390. We've only used it. Well, I think that's about the only time we have used
Once
it.
on like the
I do
Rutland
like it. I
XL,
mean,
yeah.
it's we really try to just do things based off, if it's, we also started shying away a little bit. It's like, man, we were seeing fat carbon fiber everywhere. And we're like,
Yes.
do we get on that train? Do we not? And so we were a little hesitant to do it. We'll do it here and there, like we did it on our Undertaker knife. We did it on Frog Leg, but we were just like, man, we were just kind of tired of seeing it. I really sought out the acrylics and the resins. I just thought they were neat. I love the colors.
Yeah, and you can do so much
in
with
them.
them. They're very versatile. You can do different things with resin and still get a different look.
You do. You totally do.
Your next release date is when?
We haven't nailed it down, but it should be, we are thinking probably mid to late March. It's in-house. We're QCing them. We're doing the stickers. We'll probably go about, I'm going to probably say about the third week of March. It's been a wonderful ride. And we try to keep it small. You know, the first time we met you guys personally, it was at Blade Show 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2.
I don't know. It's been a while.
2 or 3.
Yeah, and so we're not going to go this year. We love our dealer network, and so it's just not in our cards.
Well,
this year,
you have staffing. You don't have staff to run 3 days. You have to stay there personally all that time.
It was really hard, and what we struggled with at Blade Show that year, we had a booth. It was wonderful meeting everybody, and I think at the end of the day, that's probably really what it came down to. It's just to shake the hands and talk and all that. But we were just trying to struggle the balance of being open to the public, so dealing with dealers, and then also trying to deal with the end user, the customers, and all. And I know they're all important.
It is my biggest complaint about Blade Show. It's one of the reasons why we don't really set up a booth. Is I'm there to meet people and to talk to them and buy product.
Yeah.
You know, and it's turned into more people are there to sell. And I think that's a lot of the Chinese companies have led that way, and some of the retailers. So that's kind of what it is now. And if you don't have a big stock, then you keep a minimal run on everything so that it keeps a value for the customer.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It was challenging on that aspect. Then, like when we got back after being gone, we're like just overwhelmed with emails and just getting the day-to-day activities back up and running.
But it sounds like 2025 is going to be a great year for Finch Knives, and I feel like State Cutlery is headed in the right direction, especially with the new designs coming. We do want to thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an absolute pleasure learning more about Finch Knives and your amazing journey. We can't see what else you guys are going to come up with. Hopefully, I really want to see the new cherry bomb.
I'm excited.
It's going to look great.
I apologize, I'm doing this from home, but
that's all right. We love the background. Yep. So I'll stop us here where I'm Cee, and this was
Just Jul, and this was.
Say your name. Say your name.
Thank you guys so much.
Say your name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spencer Marquardt with Finch Knives.
Marquardt. There it is. Now I can say it.
And
yes, sir.
And we're signing off.